Hi, and welcome back to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host, Jeremy Murphy, and today we're going to be talking about Morgellons groups and targeted individuals, how this phenomenon occurs, and how you can keep yourself safe and avoid that kind of scenario. But first, if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to go ahead and join us. Thank you everybody who's been sharing my videos out on Facebook. That's a huge help. On Twitter, you guys rock. I appreciate you so much for making time to not only watch these videos, but to share them with the people that you know who can hopefully benefit from the information inside of them as well. So, jumping right into it, I want to talk about my experience in these online Morgellons groups and how I got burnt out on them, why I don't really participate in them too often anymore. Basically, Morgellons is a scene, and there's a lot of scenes out there. People get together, they congregate based on liked interests. With Morgellons, though, people are congregating based on hurt feelings. People really get hurt because they've been discriminated against by the medical community. And that oftentimes collates into a Morgellons group. You get a lot of people, because there's no official recognition of the evidence that's contemporarily available, who just latch onto that term, and they may have heard 100 different things about it, and they've chosen what they want to believe, and then that's Morgellons in their world. It may not even be a skin condition. I've heard people have come up to me and say, hey man, I have non-fibrous Morgellons, whatever the hell that means, but it means something to that individual. Strongly, they are convicted that they have Morgellons, and it is a non-fibrous version of it. So the reason why some groups have this rule where you can't discuss Morgellons, where it comes from, what causes it, is because once you turn against someone's narrative and promote the evidence that Morgellons is a skin condition associated with Lyme disease, you will become a target for these individuals who don't want Morgellons to be anything but what they say it is. Because when you disrupt their assertions, that threatens their supply of attention. People are finally listening to them about their concerns, about the shit raining from the sky, or the invasive fungus that is spreading across America's cornfields. Yeah, there's all sorts of theories about Morgellons, but most of them have already been disproven in the scientific investigation. We know Morgellons is limited. It's limited to the skin. We also know that Morgellons is associated with Lyme disease. It's a very real infectious disease, but the problem is people don't want it to be that, because that disrupts their narrative about what they believe Morgellons is. And so the dilemma is, well, can't you just let everybody believe what they want to believe and it's okay? No. And here's why. Because if you do that, then that allows doctors to believe that Morgellons is a psychiatric condition. And diagnosing somebody with a psychiatric condition who is actually afflicted by a bacterial infection is unethical, at the least. Morgellons is something specific, and that something specific has been defined in the literature. But be warned, if you're in a group and you're speaking out about this evidence, if you're speaking up about the science that demonstrates Morgellons is associated with Lyme disease, you could be setting yourself up as a target for people who do not want that information propagated. So the best thing you could do is stay out of a Morgellons group, although people need to have some kind of network of support. Keep in mind that it's not supporting anybody to be in an environment that is toxic with misinformation and hatred for the truth. People will make up stuff about you to make you look bad by telling everybody behind your back after they've blocked you, if you stand up for the truth that Morgellons is associated with Lyme disease. That's the last thing somebody wants to hear who is trying to convince everybody that Morgellons is caused by the nanomachines. But would they really be believing that if the official word was that Morgellons is associated with Lyme disease? I mean, if the CDC came out tomorrow and said there's been this volume of research produced since our study in 2012 which corroborates the association with Lyme disease, which was also demonstrated in our paper. Until that happens, people are going to be running around free with these ideas about what Morgellons is, and that makes it hard for actual Morgellons patients, who these people may be as well, but they're not going to get the kind of care they deserve, the kind of treatment they desperately need, if Morgellons isn't tangible. if it isn't something real, and that something real isn't based on the evidence. A lot of these support groups online, on Facebook in particular, are started by people with their own narratives, and there's no accountability for them. Anybody can run a group, anybody can say anything inside a group about anything, really. And that group can be private, so it can't be monitored. So when you're walking in there into a Morgellons group, especially on Facebook, consider that you're not necessarily walking into a protected environment. Facebook isn't going to be monitoring it and going, oh no, this person probably doesn't need to be drinking bleach to try to cure their Morgellons. There's no safeguards like that. And so you really got to be careful, and I recommend just abstaining from the Morgellons group and instead join a Lyme disease support group. You're probably going to get a lot more factual evidence and relevant suggestions about what you can do to support your healing journey from a Lyme disease group than from a Morgellons group. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Listen, I do appreciate everybody sharing these videos out. That's a huge help, and it makes me want to make more of these because there's a lot of information out there about Morgellons that is just rarely ever propagated. But sharing these videos out there can get the word and hopefully help somebody avoid a potentially negative experience when they're only trying to get help. Talk to you soon, and have a great day.